what we're going to be talking about today is going to be marketing funnels. It's going to be how can we build effective key I was going to say key opinion leaders, key performance indicators or KPIs for your clinic. So that you win month over month. There are dozens, I feel like, of new marketing outlets that are introduced every single month to all of our businesses. And what this lecture aims to kind of cut down is to cut through that noise so that you know the actual numbers that matter to your clinic for every phase of your marketing efforts. I'm real excited to have all of you guys here today, and feel free to throw as many questions, as many comments, emojis, whatever it is, into the chat. I'll probably be poking you occasionally to get you guys responding here as well, just so that I can see. Yeah, keep it lit. Exactly, Jeremy. Just because I want to be able to see what you guys are grasping, and as well as what you're not grasping. If there's things I gotta go in on, so feel free to pause me at any time. Yeah, exactly. All right, rad. So I'm going to start off the way I start off the majority of lectures that I do. I'm going to draw a little something for you. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I got a straight line. Good job, Jared. This is your marketing funnel. Okay. I'm going to show you guys how to recycle money through this thing over and over and over for years to come and have a dependable strategy for your clinic. Okay. We've got 4 stages to your marketing funnel. We have fascination, we have acquisition, we have conversion, and we have engagement. FACE. Okay. You can remember that for our industry. Okay. Fascination is eyeballs on your business. Fascination is how do we get eyeballs on our business? How do we get people to see what we do? Acquisition is okay, great. Once we've gotten people to see what we do, how do we then get them to give us their contact information so that we can work with them? After that, conversion is okay. Now we've got their contact information. How do I sell them to actually, I know, and we'll talk a little bit. I have a whole soapbox I go on. Sales is not a dirty word. We can get beyond it. Okay. So then how do we sell them? Okay. And then lastly, engagement. How do we get them coming back again and again and again for years and years to come? Okay. So what I'm going to talk to you guys about is the core numbers that you have to worry about as you are building your business. Okay. So let's start in the fascination stage. Fascination is getting eyeballs on your business. People in the chat, go ahead and throw a couple of ways that you are currently getting eyeballs on your business. Whether it is, in fact, I'm not gonna tee it up for you. Tell me ways that you are getting people to see you right now. Meta ads, wonderful. Let me see. Let me just scroll through some of these. Wonderful. Social media, social media, social media, social media. I see a ton. Events is awesome. Word of mouth, word of mouth. Word of mouth people too. I'd even challenge SEO. Love it. Yeah, the newspaper, Pearl. That is amazing. Get out of town. That's so cool. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Facebook, yeah, word of mouth events. I love it. A newspaper is really cool. I dig that. And I'll go on a little tangent really quick about that. Is because you would probably tell most people I do newspaper, and they'd say, "Oh, it's probably dead. It probably doesn't do anything," and maybe it doesn't. Who knows? But I go on a tangent about print ads, and where I say, look, direct mailers are a hidden gem right now, because you mention direct mailers to anybody and they say, oh, they're just going to throw it in the trash. And what you find is that everybody, yeah, advertorials in newspapers can be awesome. What you'll find about direct mailers is that everybody thinks they're bad, meaning nobody's doing them. I am a very loyal IV patient of a local IV bar because they sent me a direct mailer for a free B12 shot. So just know that a lot, yeah, print media, I 100% agree. Print media is becoming very personal. And honestly, all the companies that do it, at least the ones that do it really, really well, I mean, like they have got it. It is so technologically advanced down to the income of every single house that you're sending these mailers to. It is extremely impressive. So Wonderful. Yeah, direct mail, Carlos. That's exactly kind of what we're talking about here, or there at least was sending direct mailers to people that whether they are new leads or it's re-engaging your existing list. I'm a huge, 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 huge fan of it. Okay, so the fascination stage, and I saw a good little split of this in the chat. The fascination stage can be split into two categories: paid and organic. Okay, in the organic side, I saw a few people say it. We've got SEO, we've got social media, we've got word of mouth. Those are going to be where you are building a name for yourself that people know, or you're building a way for you to build some sort of an organic audience. It's going to be uh, built on momentum. Okay. Paid is going to be where you pay for the eyeballs every stinking time. That could be through Google ads. That could be through meta ads. That could be through advertorials in the newspaper. That could be through a magazine ad. It could be a billboard. Could be paying an influencer to work with you. Organic could also be having a YouTube channel. It could be your local chamber of commerce. It could be hosting events or something like that. Anything that's building or webinars like what you're looking at right now. This is an organic marketing channel that Repeat MD has built incredibly. Okay, so it's a way for them to engage with their audience and as well as potential new audience members. Um, there are paid side. There's a paid channel and there's an organic channel. Really quick in the chat, just so I can get a good little picture of what we are looking at here. How many years or months has everyone been in business? 1 year, 13, 2017 years. Holy smokes. 2 years, 5 years, 2 years, 21, 26. Holy smokes. That's amazing. Okay, we've got some serious experience here. Yeah, I love it. Holy smokes. Okay, so a lot of you probably know some of these things that I'm going to be talking about. So for the fascination stage, my main goal for you guys, and sorry, one last thing for all of you in the chat here too. On a scale of 1 to 10, how how rock solid would you say your marketing plan is for your business? One being, I am just existing by the grace of God. He's just sending me people and I'm amazing. Yeah. And 10 being just, I have got this thing locked in. I know exactly how much my cost per acquisition is. I know exactly where to, if I wanted to turn the faucet up to beef up my business, I'm just crushing. All right, we got a lot of twos, threes. We got some sevens and eights. I love it. We had an 11, I think, earlier. Yeah, Andrew. I love. Yeah, rocking. I love it. Okay, we got. Okay, good. We're probably like 50-50 on feeling really good. 10. Just kidding. 5. Yeah, I like to think I'm a 10 as well, and I realistically am probably closer to a 6 in my own business. That's something that I'm growing through a ton right now is how we market ourselves. And and you're looking at it. It's education. Okay, so for clinics, I used to say this per full time employee or per full time treatment provider. It's much easier if I speak in rooms, though. And so I would say per room in your business, you should be getting. So, by the way, this is all with a contingency that we are pushing as much of this traffic or as much of these eyeballs as possible to our website. Okay, if you are rocking, if you're a 7 plus, 8 plus, and you have all these other marketing channels, you have a pretty diverse spread every single month, then the piece of info I'm about to give you right now might be slightly tweaked. Okay, however, you can still use it as a baseline. Okay, because I want everybody that is here in the chat, when you are building your marketing collateral, whether it's through social media, whether it's through Google Ads, whether it's through SEO, whether it's through whether it's through Facebook, YouTube, whatever, I want you to push all that traffic to your website through your website. That way, you've got a digital home base that you're pushing all of it to. Okay, just one place that you can know the conversion rate of the location that you are sending the eyeballs, because if you're sending them all to all these different places, you don't know what's working and what's not. Okay, so we're going to send it all to the website, and you should be getting somewhere in the ballpark of 400 to 500 views to your website, sessions to your website per room, per treatment room. Okay, 400 to 500 hits to your website per treatment room or per full-time provider that you want their schedule filled. I used to say it per full-time provider. No, not per day. Sorry, per month. Yes, per month. Per month. Per day would be awesome. But yes, per month. Per treatment room that you want filled. So if you are kind of a single room injector, you've got the one room going. Awesome. If you're getting 500-ish hits a month to your site, you're doing pretty good. You're going to be trucking along. You have a couple providers. You want to be somewhere between 800 to 1,000. You've got three, four, five providers. You're going to be somewhere between 1,500 to 2,500. If you're starting to see kind of the writing on the wall here, because those views should fill up your calendar enough to keep trucking. If you, and then this would be your baseline. If you want to grow aggressively, because you're like, oh, I'm gonna pack that out. I'm gonna get so many leads that I have to hire people immediately and whatever. Awesome. I love it. Just use that as the baseline. Okay. I need to drive more eyeballs to my business, whether that is going to be through social media, through Google ads, through the local newspaper Pearl. I love it. Through who knows, through benches. I don't know. Uh, you want to just the first goal is to drive eyeballs to the business. Okay. So that's step one. Step one is, can we get 500 eyeballs a month to hit our business? Okay. And that is going to be the first thing that you check as well. So when you are, if you feel like your marketing is below a 7, below a 6, and you're running kind of a monthly health check, honestly, if you're at a 10, when you're running your monthly health check, the first thing you should ask yourself is, from all the money I paid across the board up here, um, how many eyeballs did it yield me? And by the way, another distinction between paid and organic is the organic channels are momentum building. So, for example, if you're working with an SEO company, and let's say they're charging you $1,000 a month, your first month, and if you got one lead from Google Organic, then it costs you $1,000 for that lead. If you got two the next month, then it costs you $500 per lead. If you got three and four and so on and so on and so on, your cost per acquisition goes way down. Sorry. Could it be the Repeat MD app instead of the website? Yeah. I'd be interested to dialogue through that, just because it definitely can be. I'm not sure, Jeremy. I can poke you a little bit later about this. Maybe we can have you pop on stage and we can go through Repeat MD capabilities with this. Is the only things that I would want to see in place is the ability to rank for SEO, like for you to be able to get the app ranking, and then to track conversion rate. So if those two things are possible, wonderful, absolutely. If not, then I would advise having the site in between the two so that you can actually track performance. But we can talk a little bit more about that with Jeremy later. If not, then maybe a website would be sufficient, but we'll have to see. So that organic side, as you're investing into, yeah, if you're paying for social media or something like that. Actually, hold on, let me see. So yeah, Andrew, if there's no Google Analytics, that's one thing. Charles, or Instagram, I will say. So Repeat MD, I'm speculative on. I'll have a whole conversation with Jeremy about Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. And Charles, maybe I'll just poke you a little bit here. Is your current business, Charles, all on social media basically, and that's where you're getting all your leads, and that's where you're operating mostly? There isn't a website currently. Let's see if I get you. If you don't respond, it's fine. The big question I always have to people who are on social media, a good amount, not all, but we have a website. Good that you have a website, which is awesome. On social media, if the government decided tomorrow to say, hey, no medical affiliated provider can be on social media platforms, I think there's a ton of businesses that would tank because they did not own the platform. Every follower you've got, you don't own the eyeball on social media. They own it. Exactly right, Andrew. You own your website. You own your lead list that you're generating through your website as well. So if you have somebody's first name, last name, email address, and phone number, you own the whole thing. However, on social media, you don't own any of their contact information. You just kind of know their username, and hopefully that's their real first and last name. But really, you don't know anything about them. I've had a lot of clinicians who have been like, Jared, my social media got shut down. I got blacklisted. And I'm like, they're like, don't you have a hookup at Facebook? And I was like, no, I don't have a hookup at Facebook that can get your profile back up and running. And they're like, well, my whole business is on there. And I was like, well, I hate to say it, but I think you should have fortified a little bit stronger and had a solid website and a stronger marketing plan. So while I am a huge advocate, by the way, I'm a massive advocate for having social media. I have this year been really aggressive with getting on social media. By the way, just so you guys know my background, our company does web and SEO and Google ads. Those are the three things that we do super, super well. Because there have been times that people have been like, I looked at your social media. You're really not you don't have thousands and tens of thousands of followers. And I was like, yeah, I'm not a social media guy. And they were like, oh, I didn't know. So I am getting on social media this year a lot more aggressively. um, and I'm a huge fan of it, but I don't want it to be your only base. Yeah, Andrew, I'm a big fan of GMB as well because it performs better for you. GMB, for anybody who doesn't know, it's Google My Business. It'll get you a little bit more bang for your buck. It's just not technically a social media platform. They're trying to do some updates recently where they're reintroducing posts. There's going to be a little more engagement that happens, but for the most part, GMB is going to be a SEO esque platform mostly. Okay. So I know I detoured us. Your organic side is going to be building momentum. Okay. So on social media, if you pay somebody $1,500 a month to run it and you get one lead, it costs you $1,500. However, if in 10 months, you're getting 10, 20, 30, 40 leads a month, well, all of a sudden your social media costs are going way down because of how they're not going down. Sorry, your patient acquisition costs on that platform is going way down. On the paid side, it's going to, for the most part, be the same exact cost every single time. You're going to optimize your paid side for a few months. So when you do Google ads or you do meta ads, you're going to optimize it for the first couple of months. And in general, here's the numbers that I'm seeing. If you guys are seeing any different numbers in the chat, I would love to hear it. But in general, what I'm seeing for Google ads is we have a clinic who's getting $20 medical weight loss leads. We have laser leads are costing an average of $50 per acquisition. Botox leads and toxin in general leads are costing 45, and filler leads are around 40 for like good quality leads. That's around what we're seeing if you're paying per lead in Google and Meta. It's very similar, but they're a little bit lower because you have higher quality leads in Google because they're searching. So really quick, if I were to, I know we're doing pretty good. We're good. This is where I get the most obsessive. The rest of it is a little bit smoother. So if we go Facebook versus, in fact, I think I just saw a question about that. Would I be better off doing Google ads than social media ads? I think that is a great question, Carlos. So let me just illustrate that for you really quick. So if we're going to go Google versus Meta, uh, Meta ads, you are capturing attention. You're capturing attention in meta ads, meaning somebody's scrolling through social media and poof, there you are. And you have to get them with a immediate hook. You know who's the king of meta ads is our boy at Repeat MD. Anytime I see Phil pop up, I'm like, oh, my boy's going. He's dressed up as Santa in some of his ads. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Philip Sitter, baby. He's dressed up as Santa. He's lighting money on fire sometimes. His hooks are nuts, and I watch him every single time because I'm just so entertained. And that's the nature of meta ads is you are capturing attention. And Andrew, you nailed it again. Google. So if Meta, we capture attention. Google, we capture intention. So Meta, we capture attention. Google, we capture intention. Where somebody searches for something like, wrinkle relaxing treatments near me, med spa near me, best way to fix my hyperpigmentation, or something like that. And then all of a sudden, poof, your ad pops up. Now it's different than SEO because SEO, somebody searches best melasma treatment near me. There's going to be a page that shows up on your side probably that says melasma treatments from XYZ Med Spa. However, a Google ad would be you would pay for that slot and it might say something like $50 off your first hyperpigmentation treatment or something like that. Something juicy that they're like, oh, hold on a second. Let me click this. You'll have some sort of a juicy offer that gets them in. So that's Meta versus Google. I'm a fan of Google just because you're capturing higher intent leads. With Meta, you almost need a call center because you get such high volume. For Meta, you get high volume of low quality leads, which can be good if you're building a big list, if you've got the infrastructure to call these leads all the time. If you don't have the infrastructure to manage that high of a lead intake, then you need to, when you work with an agency, it needs to be an agency that also provides a call center, in my opinion. Just because a lot of these meta ads, clients that people that we don't do meta ads, but people that we've seen that have meta ads, they'll be just drowning in lower quality leads that they can't get back to fast enough. But the people who have a good call center situation, they usually win. So meta ads is going to be a higher volume of lower quality leads, and Google ads are going to be a lower volume of higher quality leads. It's going to be people with much higher intent. They're ready to solve their problem right now, and they found you because they were searching for it. That's big. Also, Google is also pushing pretty heavy right now. They're pushing display ads on YouTube, and I don't see a lot of good physicians taking advantage of it. We have a couple of clinics that are on it right now, and they are crushing. It is doing so because Google wants it to perform better, so they're throwing a little bit more intention around it. So by the way, so if any of you are good on camera, very, very fun to explore Google Ads. You actually don't even technically have to be good on camera. You can just get some good footage of the service that you're trying to sell. Okay, so we're pushing to our website 400 to 500 views. Sorry, YouTube channels in general do well. YouTube channels, by the way, Andrew, also are a major SEO hack because I always say Google loves when you use their stuff. Google loves. If Google Plus was still a thing, I would be blue check certified all over. I'd be posting on there all the time because Google rewards you using their stuff. So if you use Google My Business when you're posting your social media content and you're double posting there, or if you're using YouTube on a regular basis, it is an SEO gold mine to use Google stuff. We've even gotten to the point where our agency, we consult a little more with Gemini, the AI, than we do with ChatGPT, just because Gemini is better in tune with the rules and regulations that Google has in place because it was made by Google. So anyway, so that is we've gotten the eyeballs on our business. All right, we've gotten 400 to 500 eyeballs on our site. What's next, Jared? Next, we have to get those people into our sales pipeline. I saw somebody say it earlier, and they said it all comes back down to email capture or something like that. Yes, 100%. You want contact capture. So the next step is acquisition. We got to get those people's contact information, and there's a few different ways that you can do it. You can capture their content, their information. The easiest way is going to be through an offer. And I'm going to say something. I'm going to hold your hand when I say it. Is that I know? Don't freak out. Okay, I have good reason for this. Discounts aren't bad. Okay, hold on. Let me explain. Okay, every clinic, every time I say discounts aren't bad, the pitchforks come out. Just wait. There are three reasons why you should ever do a discount. Okay. I'm not let me preface by saying I'm not an advocate of specials of the month because what is rewarded is repeated. Okay. Let's remember that phrase. What is rewarded is repeated. So I want to reward behaviors that I want more of. Exactly. That's why Repeat MD app has a sign up. Exactly. Exactly. What is rewarded is repeated. Okay. So there are three reasons that I would reward behavior. The first behavior that I'd reward is is doing a new vertical or becoming a or becoming a patient. So if somebody is a tox patient trying filler, I would reward that because you want people to know if they do more things with you, they get better perks. Tox trying filler, tox and filler trying laser, tox filler, laser trying facials. All of a sudden, they have four verticals that they're doing with you because they were just exploring that. Oh, I can get a little $50 off here and there, whatever. They were fired up just to add more things, but now you're their go-to for all four of those things. Okay, so the first thing is new verticals of service. You could reward that. Number two is bulk. Okay, bulk. They buy their talks for the year. Absolutely. They're buying a package. Absolutely. Okay, they're buying some sort of a facial balancing package. Absolutely. Rewarding that with a discount, I think, is great because you are incentivizing people to do more at once. And lastly, is loyalty. If they have the Repeat MD app, or if they are some sort of a member of your clinic, or if they are doing word of mouth, if they're referring their friends. anything that, or they're showing up to your events. um, that is inspiring loyalty. It's inspiring them to be more hooked on you. So those are the three reasons that I think you could give a discount or an offer. One is a new vertical, two is bulk, and three is loyalty. So how do we get these people into our sales pipeline? Okay, so let's say here's the biggest one that's working right now. That we're seeing across all the websites that we manage and all of the people that I consult for is I am seeing $50 off your first treatment, work like gangbusters. Why do I say that? Because the minimum on-page conversion rate that you should be seeing for clinics, this is not my personal conversion rate that we hold our team accountable to, but the minimum that you should be seeing is 5%. If 5% of your visitors are turning into leads, you're doing okay. Okay. These are high intent leads. If 5%, you're doing okay. I don't think it's the best, but you're doing okay. If 5% are turning into leads, we benchmark our clients at 10%. So we're doubling that. So you know the range. Um, we benchmark ours at 10%, and 8% is kind of acceptable in our team. The biggest thing that we are seeing convert right now, the biggest offer we're seeing convert right now is $50 off your first appointment. And we have a clinic we have two clinics. One is in Georgia and one is in Kentucky. And both are getting an 18% conversion rate out of that offer. 18%. 18% of their traffic is turning into a brand new lead simply because of the $50 off offer. That is well over tripling average stats. So the next thing that you want to be able to do is you want to get the contact information of them. So for us, we always advise $50 off. There's a lot of clinics that'll have a pop-up of the month kind of a thing where they say, oh, this month only, get $20 off your IV, get a 5%, whatever it is. We get a lot of those. And for me, they're rolling the dice every stinking time because your website should be for the brand newest eyeball on your business. Your website should be for the brand newest person on your business. Yeah, I always say that like when we base our website for your existing patients, you're kind of banking on no new people seeing it. So like when we have this big celebration of purchasing an ultra clear on the website, sorry if I'm calling out anybody who's in the room. I have multiple clients who bought ultra clears and they're like, oh, we got to plaster it all over the website. And I said, that's awesome. Your patients just have no idea what it is. I was like, let's celebrate skin rejuvenation. Let's celebrate skin tightening or something like that. Something that's like they can sink their teeth into at minimum. However, I think let's just get them in the door so you can build a relationship and see what their problem is. Do you have it to where $50 off, but when you spend, oh yes, 100% Lexi, you should absolutely have some sort of a minimum. You should have some sort of a qualifier in the description. It should be like $50 off. And then in the description, it should say, or, in the fine print, it should say minimum $200 purchase or something like that. Cause you don't want to give $50. We have one clinic who has like a salon and I think they have $30 blowouts. They would owe them money if they did it like that. So you always want to have a disclaimer. I love this. I tell my clients instead of saying the word discount, just say unlock exclusive savings of XXX. Then it sounds class. I love it. I love it. $75 gift card bonus for new member signups. I love that as well, Andrew. Anyone throw it in the chat. What kind of offers you guys are using? That's working for you. So $75 gift card bonus. I love for a specific reason, Andrew, is that $75 gift card for them. They're like, oh my gosh, I can use it towards my treatment. And you're like, yeah, that's kind of the idea is that we're gonna let you use it towards future treatments. So I think that is rad. Anybody else in the chat have anything interesting? $100 for first time treatment when you spend $249. That's a huge offer. And also, by the way, guys, speaking of this, Lexi is we had a client who we had just launched her site and she said, Jared, I want to put a really strong offer on my website because we just hired a new injector. She was an esthetician and she scaled up to be a new injector. In fact, we just launched a podcast with her. So you're welcome to go watch it. She's incredible. She went from single chair esthetician to full on med spa in like a year and a half. She is dynamite. I'm head over heels to this girl. Anyway, she said, I want to offer something really cool for my new injector. I said, what? She goes, I want to do $100 off your first tox, your first Botox. I said, I was like, can you afford that? That's a lot. That's a lot. And she goes, I just want to get bodies in the door. I don't care if I make money off the first time. I just want bodies in the door to try her. I said, okay, go for it. And she does it, and we got nothing. Nothing. I think she had a 3%, 2% conversion rate from it. And after 3 weeks, I was like, "Hey, we gotta talk about this." And, I said, "It's just not working." And I said, "What does that equal per unit?" She goes, "It's like $9 a unit for me," which is for her, she's not getting good pricing, at her size, so that was very expensive. Um, uh, and so she's like, "It's like $9 a unit." I said, "Can we go down 1 cent?" Okay. And on the site, we're gonna say $8.99 a unit for your first talks appointment. She was like, "Oh, yeah, we could do it like that." I said, "Sick." And she immediately jumped up to a 21% conversion rate. We had to shut it down after 2 weeks because they were just, I mean, drowning in leads. It was awesome. It was awesome. She goes, "We have to turn it off. We have to turn it off. I've already sold too many. It's Jared. It's awesome. We have to stop." I said, "Sick." But this is why, by the way, you track this, because most people will sit with their website for 2 years and they'll be like, "Oh, our website never does anything." And I always argue, no, you didn't track you didn't know what was working and what wasn't. Okay, so I want you to be getting a at minimum 5% conversion out of your site. So visitors should be taking important actions, whether that action is booking an appointment or submitting the contact form, whether it's the contact us form or the pop-up form or whatever. You should be pushing minimum 5% of people into doing that. Okay. Also, if you are tracking that, update our site twice a month based on new patient feedback. Yeah, I think that's good, Andrew. I'd be interested to see. I think twice monthly. It would depend on what you're updating. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it would depend on what you're updating. Twice monthly could be a lot, but if it's little tiny things, then that's obviously fine. If you're updating your new patient offer twice a month, then I think you're not really leaving it enough time to marinate tiny things. Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah. The patient says, "Oh, it says toxim instead of toxin here," or something like that. Like little, it could be an error or whatever. So that's great. Um, yeah, I would say you should be tracking this on a monthly basis. Oh, and by the way, everybody, in order to get all these juicy numbers, you're going to use Google Analytics. Okay. If you don't have Google Analytics installed on your website, it takes 10 seconds. That's egregious. It takes 20 seconds. I'm sorry, I lied. It takes twice the time that I said. It takes 20 seconds to install. You go on Google Analytics.com. You tell it what kind of property you want to create, and then you just install the tracking pixel onto your website. And most of your web providers, if you have hired an agency, they should have it on there. If they don't, you need to have a very firm conversation with them of how in the world can I judge whether or not you're helping me if I if you don't even know what numbers are. So that's the first thing. If you're not tracking it and you've hired somebody, you know, go grab them by the shirt collar. However, if you haven't hired anybody, maybe you're using a Wix or something like that. Wix has onboard tracking. The only problem is whenever you switch off of Wix or Shopify or whatever onto kind of a more pro web, I say pro. I think a lot of people are probably on Wix or Shopify. It's just that those aren't gonna crush for you SEO wise, in my opinion, unless you really really know how to work them. Once you get off of those platforms onto a more stronger business platform, you're gonna lose the historic data of your business. So you're gonna have to reset tracking on Google Analytics at that point. So I would highly advise just having it at that point. So get Google Analytics, install it onto your site. If you don't know how to do it, you're welcome to send me an email and I will just walk you right through it. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay. All right. So we've talked about getting that 5% conversion rate. My biggest opinion is that you should make it a new patient offer. If you are the clinic that says, "I will never do a discount, I will never," if you're that clinic, that is totally fine. That is totally fine. You just have to uh, do the work then to nurture those leads. Okay. So if you say, "I'm never doing a discount," then you have to do the work and you have to sweat to nurture those leads. Meaning you need to do something to the extent of what I would do if I were you is I would put what's called a lead magnet, a lead magnet. Okay. I would have a lead magnet on your website, something to the extent of click here to fill out our skincare quiz. Click here to find out your skin's age. Something like that that you've built. A quiz on Typeform can be awesome. Here's a handful of lead magnets you can put. Quiz. You can do a ebook. So if you take 2 days and make an ebook in Canva that people can download that says, "Here's how you should take care of your skin through the decades." Okay, great. So yeah, Andrew, let's use you guys as an example. So a lead magnet, yes, 100%. Just Jill, email Jared at aestheticconversion.com. I'm happy to walk you through that. Andrew, let's take you as an example. If you guys don't want to do discounts and you would rather do education, what I would do if I were you is I would have a webinar. So exactly what Repeat MD is doing here. I would have a webinar that you're running on a regular basis, or some sort of a PDF download that's like a hey, fill out the info here to get our skin through the ages, so that you know how to take care of your skin in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, and your 50s. Thanks, Jeremy, for putting that in there. I would have some sort of education piece like that, and then it has to have a follow up sequence in your CRM. CRM stands for Client Relationship Management Software. It is a software for you to track your sales. Who here is using a CRM? Go ahead and throw it in the chat. Andrew has got Go High Level, which is my favorite CRM. Go High Level is my favorite CRM. If you don't have, yeah, GHL is awesome. Next Tech is building their own white labeled GHL, which is awesome. Boulevard, love Boulevard is an EMR, Carlos, and you can use it kind of like a CRM, aesthetic CRM. Adrian, great, which is a white labeled high level, by the way. They are wonderful people, but it is a white labeled high level. Next Tech has also got it. And then there's an amazing one if you have Aesthetic Record. Sorry, also, Jeremy, I don't know, by the way, how often I can mention other brands on here, but if you have Aesthetic Record, guys, for your EMR, then Lead AR is an incredible, again, white labeled high level, but it's highly integrated into your scheduling. Yeah, Lead AR. There we go. Lexi. Yeah, represent. Lead AR is awesome for if you have aesthetic record. If you don't, then it's another GHL. Yeah. What is white labeling high level? Yeah. So basically, high level can exist as a CRM where you're just sending out texts and emails and all that stuff. Or an agency like mine, I purchase a higher level access to have unlimited sub accounts in my instance of high level, and I give it for free to all of my clients, but it's all white labeled. So it's like app.aestheticconversion.com, and it's like pretty and all that, similar to the Repeat MD app for you guys. Like you essentially, like, you guys have your own white labeled app. It is a white labeled experience that people get to feel like it is your clinic's app, but it's powered by Repeat MD. Which is the same thing. Yeah, a lot of EMRs, Andrew, exactly right, will give you GHL. A lot of them have. So Next Tech built their own recently. Aesthetic Record has theirs, and then like all the other ones too, you can integrate with. Um, so yeah, but great. Okay, so we've all got at least a decent CRM that we're using for the most part. Anybody who is not using like a outright CRM, I'm again happy to give you any of my tips here. Aesthetics Pro, yeah, which is an EMR, but we want to get a CRM is going to track this next number. Okay. So by the way, okay, we've got our lead magnet and we used Andrew's example earlier. If you don't want to give a discount, then you can have some sort of a downloadable piece or some sort of an opt-in where when they opt in, they're getting a bunch of emails and texts saying, hey, thank you so much for blah, 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 blah. And then you're following up with them like crazy because your next goal is going to be conversion. So let's quickly refresh here because the second half of this takes dramatically less time than the first half. We got eyeballs on our business, okay, through paid and organic channels. We got 400 to 500 people per treatment room that we've got. Which, by the way, anecdotally about the treatment rooms, I had a girl I was working with. She's an esthetician. She was very excited. She goes, "I just hired a second esthetician," and I was like, "Oh, awesome! Are you expanding your space too?" She had one room. And she goes, "No." And I was like, "Well, then you're not going to make a dime more, my girl. You got to have more space for this person to treat in." She was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't, oh my," she like, mine was blown. So we have gotten 400 to 500 views per room. Then once those eyeballs have hit our website, we've got 5% of them to opt in to whatever our lead magnet is. Then the next thing we have to do is get them to convert. We got to get them to sell. Okay. Okay. So here is the deal with sales. Um, uh, there's anytime we talk about sales, most people are afraid of it, and we say, and again, I'm so sorry if I'm calling anybody out here. I've worked in clinics. I worked for Shino Bay Aguilera for years, and even his clinic did this for a bit. Is they said we don't sell, we educate. We don't sell, we prescribe. And we got around these sales words because they didn't want to feel dirty. And then I would say, explain what sales, explain selling, that dirty. And they would say, it's where you get somebody to buy something so it just affects you and it only benefits you and not them. And I 100% agree. Let's never do that again. However, let's also properly label that. That is not sales, that is manipulation. That is not sales. That is manipulation. Sales is displaying value that solves a problem for somebody, and then them agreeing that that value is worth the cost of the service. And you shake hands and you do business. That's sales. Okay. It is not this dirty, I'm going to trick you into buying more. I'm going to change my price because I think you can afford it. That's manipulation. That's not sales. That's not sales. And when we have this narrative in our clinics, and we say we don't sell, we educate, we don't sell, we prescribe, or whatever it is, we are accidentally inspiring our employees to be ashamed of sales. And you're accidentally going to be inspiring your teams to be afraid of sales. I think they need to be proud of it. I think that they need to know that sales is service, sales is helping. And that's all that it needs to be. Your appointment booking rate from these leads. So 5% of these leads, or 5% of the attention turns into a lead. Those leads you should be converting 55% or more. A lot of consultants. Meg, say what again? Sorry. Feel free to. It happened a minute ago. Whatever it was. I'm sorry, Meg. Meg Jenkins. 84 convert. Ew, that is killer, Andrew. That is exactly, that's what most, I was just going to say that. That's what most consultants are shooting for. So about sales, Lauren, I love this gift. Uh, um, Meg, about sales, is that, where do consultants fall, A or C? Hold on one quick sec. Meg, with sales, um, uh, sales is not manipulation. Sales is simply displaying value that solves a problem, and you guys mutually agreeing that that's going to be the cost. That is sales. Sales is you just solving somebody's problem and them agreeing that it's worth the cost that you charge for it. Manipulation is where you say, "Oh, don't you want to get rid of all these wrinkles? Don't you want to fix this? You're gelling, you're blah blah blah," and you're calling out things that they came in for some hyperpigmentation, and you're calling out all this stuff to make them embarrassed so that you can sell. That's manipulation. So sales is something to be proud of. Andrew, that conversion rate is killer. So 55% is baseline what you should be shooting for. However, most consultants will want you to be somewhere north of 65, 70, even 80%. I would think 80%, 85%, Andrew. Um, I would think 85%, you might be actually losing leads at 80. This is my opinion, because most consultants, when they'll say they want 80% to 85%. I just think you might be making them jump through a little too many hoops at that rate. That might be something where you might want to open the floodgates a little bit more, depending on how many leads you want. So you might be gating them too much before they actually get to you. That they're just so hyper intentional by the time they get to you that um, it could be worth exploring. Yeah, it's heavily gated. So if you ever want to open those floodgates, it would be acceptable for you to get down to 55% if you guys ever had scale issues or anything like that. I mean, but at 85%, I mean, that's still very, very good. So you guys can track that in your CRMs. So as the leads are coming in, you can track it in your CRM. So 55% in general should be about where you sit. And the nice thing about this, too, by the way, is this will be a major indicator for you of when to hire front desk. Okay. So if you've been in business for less than a year or whatever, this number, if you're tracking it really well for yourself, is actually going to be a major indicator of when you should hire a front desk, because front desk is not front desk. Okay. Front desk is your appointment setters. Okay. They should be paid very, very, very well. And you should treat them like the people that they are, which is the people who fill the books. Okay. They are not just glorified greeters. They are not janitorial services. They are filling your books. They're the appointment setters. Okay. And if you on your own, you're so booked, you're working on marketing, you're working on the business, you're stuck in the room. If you are anywhere below 40% in your conversion rate of new lead to appointment, it's time to hire. If you hire an appointment setter or a front desk person, they're going to make you more money than they'll cost you if they can get up to 55%. Okay. So that's a major indicator for you guys, by the way, if it's time to hire front desk or to hire better front desk, or to improve their processes. If they're lower than 40%, there's a big old problem. I had one clinic I was working with, and she just did not like her front desk girl. And she made it very clear to me, oh, she doesn't like to work. She's this. And she was just negative, negative. I said, well, what are her KPIs? She goes, well, I don't know. I just want her to pick up the phones and I want her to, I said, okay, well, let me have a meeting with her. So I had a meeting with her. I walked her through our go high level that she gets with us. And I said, hey, if you can get this number, and I showed her the appointment booking rate. I said, if you can get that number up to 55%, I promise you will never hear a complaint from your boss for the rest of your life. She was like, really? I said, yes. At the time, she was at 23%. And 1 month later, she was at 68%. And I asked her boss, I was like, that number looks much better. She goes, I've never been happier in my life. And I said, it's just from holding her accountable to that number. So anyway, 55% is where you should be sitting. If you're below 40, you got to either reinvent the system or hire somebody. And then lastly, engagement rate. Engagement rate is where Repeat MD clocks, and where Repeat MD comes in heavily here. So this is actually where I can lean heavily into you, actually, Jeremy. Is because I'm sure that you know a lot of these numbers as well. But engagement rate in general, the easiest way to clock this is going to be your rebooking rate. What percentage of people, right when they hit the front desk, I do front desk myself a lot, all the time. That's awesome, Andrew. You're just crushing it. You're jack of all trades in your business. That is awesome. Yeah, and you need to hold yourself accountable to your rebooking rates as well, Andrew. So these the rebooking rates should be somewhere in the ballpark of 75% is what Terry Ross says. I was just talking to her about that. She likes to see 75% rebooking rate on your clinic. Her and Isaac also say that from Get Kudos. They both say 75%. What do you guys think, Jeremy? What do you guys consider a retained patient? What percentage do you like to see, or do you know off the top of your head? Sorry, I know I'm putting you on the spot. Or are you able to talk? Sorry, I don't know. So you guys all know I could see Jeremy in like the waiting room. Uh,
Sorry, I don't want to kill your flow, but yeah, I'd say typically around 70% is what we've seen.
70% retention rate. Okay, yes. Yeah. So 75% should be your retention rate. The simplest way to track that is your rebooking rate. What percentage retained for how long, how many years? So a retained patient generally is considered somebody who is, at least according to Galderma, this is anecdotal from Galderma, it's somebody who is doing an average of 2.5 services per year, I think, or three or something like that, 2.8 services per year, whether that is, doing filler and tox and facials or something like that. So a retained patient is more on an annualized basis of how many times they're coming in to see you per year. Because Julie, that was my first question too. Is like, okay, great. How do we know when we've hit retention? But retention is mostly just, is the person seeing you multiple times a year for other services? That's usually what's considered a retained patient. And so the simplest way to track this is at checkout. You can track this every single day. At checkout, 75% of existing patients should be booked for their next appointment. If they're not, you got a problem. You got to have a conversation with them. You got to just proactively book it. If they say, "Oh, well, I don't know. I don't know if I can lock my schedule in. I don't know if my husband. I have to check with him." No problem. I'm just going to go ahead and throw you on the. I'm just going to throw it on the schedule. We'll follow up closer. No problem. We're just going to put you on there proactively, or whatever it is. I 75% is around where you should be. This is where I start to get out of my depth, by the way. So I am hyper useful in this category and in this category. I am just knowledgeable in these categories. Okay. So 75% should be that engaged patient, which is actually, okay. Yeah. 3 visits, what it takes. I think annually too, Andrew, 3 visits. If they're keeping that, then they're not really cheating on you. They're not seeing anybody else. They should be considered retained. And this is where, honestly, I love this actually. Hold on. This is full circle here. This is where Repeat MD comes into play. And I always say this at shows too, is that on the engagement side, you need to have a handful of things in order to keep people retained, and keep people retained. Whether that is having a killer membership ecosystem like having RepeatMD, or having really, really great events that you're doing on a regular basis, or having a really great email and text message list, guys, please make sure that you are sending e-blasts and text blasts on a regular basis to your patients because they want to hear from you. I cannot tell you how many clinics I have seen make hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars more just from sending a single text out to their audience. So make sure that you are re-engaging with them there. So the goal of the engagement side is then to recycle them right back up to the top over and over and over for years to come. And that is where RepeatMD comes in and shines and bumps up that patient retention.
Exactly. And like just what you're just saying, Jared, just one text message makes a huge difference on that, right? So that's why we bake in a bunch of automated text for you guys. So if someone like automated offers, a lot of y'all have automated offers enabled on your app. Well, hey, 180 days goes by. Instead of you having to track it, well, they're getting a text with an offer, get them back in, right? And I think that 70% was a little bit low, Jared. I think I saw that number like 3 or 4 years ago. So excuse me on that. But yeah, we have those automated offers. Also, when things are in their cart and they haven't checked out abandoned cart text, like we try to keep them as engaged as possible to keep coming back.
Yeah, that is so awesome. I appreciate unsubscribe with all the. Yeah, Julie, that'll happen. It happens for a few reasons. So if people unsubscribe, there's a few different reasons they might do that. My clients ask me to read book before it comes out of my mouth. I love that. When people unsubscribe, there's one of a few reasons. Number one, it's frequency. Two, let's go with number one. Number one could be your very first text. When you send out your first text, you guys all need to. I need to make a post about this, and everyone needs to bookmark it. When you send your first text message out to your list, you have to be ready for your best friend, your grandma, your best client you've ever had to reply in all caps with stop. It is okay. It's okay. They think it's an automated system. They don't realize it's cutting daggers into your heart. I can't tell you how many people have sent their very first text and they've been like, "Oh, everyone hates me. They're all unsubscribing." I'm like, no, 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 no. You're okay. You're okay. The very first one, the very exactly, Julie, your your spouse, like my wife unsubscribed. I'm like, hey, back off, dude. So I think updating your preference. Lexi, do you recommend a forum where they can update their preferences? Yeah, I think that's fine. I think as long as they opt in right in the beginning, just let them opt out when they're kind of done, because they will. If they're not that serious, but there's a lot that really do want it. So maybe Julie, to your point there. Now, if you are setting them regularly and you're getting those unsubscriptions, then my senses would tingle that you might be sending really long texts. They might be a little too intense or too many. Here's the perfect formula for sending out a text. In fact, I'm going to erase this. So I'm going to give everybody 10 seconds to take a picture of this little funnel. If you want to remember it, you've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, I'm going to erase this really quick. I can always go back, but I'm going to give you a little formula for the ideal text message. By the way, this little app I'm using is called Ecamm Live. Repeat MD and Weave. They're not even advertising. Yeah. Okay. So simple of your text. The flow should be first and foremost contact first name. So let's go with. In fact, let me just do it like this. Let's go with contact first name. Hi, contact first name. Uh, state your name. Your name. Okay, so your clinic's name. So it's fall over at Jared Rohr Med Spa, and then one simple offer. And we have an amazing deal going on, whatever the thing is. Make sure, in my opinion, make sure that that offer goes towards one of those three reasons that I said earlier, and then have a one simple call to action, CTA, and it should be a reply. Okay. It should not be click this link. It should not be. Call us today. It should be reply this one word to get the offer. Okay, so reply this one word to get the offer. You will have a dramatically higher conversion rate if you are telling them to reply with a simple word. There's a reason why people say that. So, in general, with your texts, I would tweak and change them. Sorry, repeat MD, if the templated ones that are in there aren't exactly doing that, and I'm saying something against what you guys are already doing. This is the formula that I have seen kick butt. Okay, so it's hi first name, it's fall over here, it's winter, it's Christmas time over here at Jared Rohr Med Spa, and we're giving away one free SkinCeuticals CE Ferulic with any appointment that you book this week. Reply Skin C to get it today. And so repeat MD text message and allow for name and contact reply. Okay, so if you're sending it through repeat MD, I'd have to see the repeat MD interface to know exactly how to send it properly through them. Or if you're using a CRM or something like that, happy to submit a feature request. Yeah, nice. Get him, Jeremy. Or if you're using a CRM like a Go High Level as well, you can do it directly through there too. And find ways to partner through your Repeat MD app so that the specific text message thing going out can be strong. But the main goal here, in my opinion, even if it just said hi, here's our name, here's a simple offer, and here's a CTA. All I want is reply XYZ to get the offer. That's going to get you the highest conversion rate from them. Yeah, there you go, Jeremy. Yeah, throw that in there. Adding variables. I know that I'm like way over time at this point. So you guys let me know, Elise and Jeremy. Happy to. Have you seen the format where clinics start the message like repeat MD, high contact name? I've seen a lot of brands do this. So people see it within seconds of who they are. Have you seen this? Yeah. So, well, oh, like where you just write high contact name, Lexi, if you're saying that, because I've done that before on accident, and it accidentally got lots of great replies. But I don't know if it converted very well, but it was very funny, and I got a really high reply rate of people being like, "Okay, clearly it's a marketing message, Jared." Um, I'd have to see exactly what you're referencing, Lexi. Happy to take some questions if you guys want. Or Jeremy, I know we're already a minute over, so I don't want to. I saw that you changed the countdown timer, which is very sweet of you. Thanks, Carlos. Yeah, if you guys want, you're happy. I'm happy to take questions.
Yeah, we can spend 5 minutes. No big deal.
Okay, cool. Yeah, feel free to just throw them in the chat. You can throw them in the Q&A if you want, or you can just throw them in the chat if you have any questions. If you don't, obviously we're able to wrap up as well. Again, any of those things that I referenced today too, if you have any questions, you're welcome to email me, jared@aestheticconversion.com. And I am happy. Oh yeah, thanks, Lexi. Lexi, it's so good to see you. You're kicking butt. I'm so proud of you. Yeah. There you go. Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, I missed the beginning. Yeah, feel free to get the watch back as well. Once they reply with the word, they make an appointment. What's the call to action on our end? Sorry, I got a little confused there for a second. The moment they reply with that word, call them, or at least have an auto response that says, "Okay, great. When works best for you to come in?" If that's the simplest of it, something that like immediately gets them to say, "Oh yeah, I can come in this Friday." Then you call them and you could say, "This Friday we've got this appointment available," whatever it is. And I have a great friend in the industry, Emily Ann Scalise. They have a policy in her clinic. I was informed, yes, Daisy, that this will be saved for later. Yeah. I have, yeah, Jill, that's as easy as it gets. And I have a clinic who it's their policy that anybody who wants an appointment will be seen within 48 hours. And however, the caveat to that is that they cannot guarantee that they'll be seen by the provider that they're asking for within 48 hours. So their guarantee is that if somebody wants an appointment within 48 hours, there will be something available, but it might not be with the person that they asked for. Ryan, thanks for joining. Everybody, thanks for joining. I appreciate you guys. What would you say is too much to contact? I have a lead letter set to 1 day, 3 days, 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, and 45, and then no more is sufficient. Honestly, what I would say, if you just have a good 7-day drip for your leads, that's what I like to do. Is a 7-day drip campaign via email and text. You're sending them a phishing text in the beginning that tries to get them going. And then you're sending them a handful of email supplements that say, "Hey, did you know this about your skin? Hey, did you know? Oh, you want to? Okay, Andrew, I'll tell you a few SEO hacks. Hey, did you know this about your skin? Did you know this about aging? Did you know this about whatever?" It's a handful of nice value add emails, and then another phishing text and email that just says like that says something to the extent of hey, like, are you serious about getting whatever the thing is that they submitted about fixed? Something where you can get them kind of hooked again. And then after that, they're a lost cause. So 7 days. I wouldn't make it 30, 40, whatever. I would do a 7-day drip of info. And if at that point they don't want to do business with you, then they're lost. Andrew, parasite SEO tips. I'm assuming you mean just like sick little hacks that you can put into place for SEO. There's one right now that I'm head over heels for that all of you can implement right now. Is you're going to go on ChatGPT and you're going to tell it to produce. Like Reddit SEO hacks. You can use Reddit for SEO if you want. I have seen a lot of people do it. Um, you can, and I've seen it work okay. It's just that it reads as SEO bait all the time. The best way, honestly, to do SEO on Reddit is organically engage, and not just to like post into threads and into comments or God forbid to post your own uh, make your own post and then get under there. If you want a real SEO hack right now, I know, sorry, Jill, that this is talking shop at this point. This one, Jill, though, you can do. You're going to go into ChatGPT and you're going to tell ChatGPT to produce 50 questions and answers that are SEO rich in the answers for your business. And then you're going to go onto your Google My Business profile and you are going to write every single one of those questions and submit them. And then you're going to write every single one of those answers and submit them. Google does not regulate who submits the questions to your business in Google My Business. In fact, they encourage it. Yeah, exactly. 124 rich SEO questions. You will dominate your local market if you do that. So if you go in, you will start ranking like crazy against your local competition for Google My Business specifically. That's a fun little specific hack. Andrew, clearly you've already done it, which is great. But that's like the easiest layup for people that want to like beat the local competition is throwing those in there. Jill, that one is one that you could definitely knock out. Easy peasy. Any other? We've got 2 minutes, 48 seconds. Any other questions from the audience? I've loved this. Thank you guys for engaging so much. I love that we're getting to be a much more chat centric. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Where do you post that? It's in your Google My Business profile, Julie. So your Google My Business is kind of the Google Maps location that you've got in Google. If you go to business.google.com and log in with whatever administrative email you use to create your Google stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to clone Andrew too. That's awesome. But Julie, you go to business.google.com and you can manage your Google My Business from there. And in there will be a question and answer section that you can fill out. Head spinning, but learned a lot. Of course. Thanks, Jill, for coming. You guys are all great. Jeremy, thanks for putting this together. And Elise, thank you guys so much for putting this together. This has been so great.
Yeah, this was an incredible webinar, Jared. You crushed it. This was awesome.
Thanks. I know I messaged Elise and I was like, I'm gonna draw on my screen. And Elise was like, could you show me what you mean by by that first, please? But I think it kept us nice and organic. Did you guys like that in the chat, by the way? If people are still Julie says, so I should be posting thanks, Carlos. Loved it. Mr. Julie Constitution. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Maybe better than like a like a PowerPoint deck. Text per month is the answer, Charles, and it's one. I would say text. You should be sending one big text per month, and if you have a big event coming up, you can send one or two additionals. But I would keep your text real sparse for text. Now the RepeatMD app, correct me if I'm wrong, Jeremy. You can do a push notification with it, right?
So yeah, we are rolling out push notifications like on our end, but we are working on getting them on the patient or the practice side as well.
Yeah. Okay. So when you've got that, that is going to be absolute dynamite for you guys. Push notifications is going to be sick because you have direct access to the person's home screen. Dr. McCleary, drawing on the screen. I'm using an app called Procreate, and it's got a green background. and then I'm using an app on my computer called Ecamm Live, and I am screencasting from my iPad to an Apple TV, and it's plugged into my computer as like a source. And then I'm telling my Apple TV, or I'm telling Ecamm Live to hide all the green. So when I draw, it's gone. If you ever want, I'm happy to record a little. Yeah, it's really fun, and I use it in all like my sales calls and stuff too, where I'll like draw it out for people. But happy to show you a little tour of my setup. Dr. McCleary, how can I get in touch with you, Jared? For a deeper dive with you, Jared at aestheticconversion.com. Alyssa, you can feel free to send me an email. If you want to hop on my calendar, you can send it to me, or if you reference Toni, my assistant, in that email, she sees them as well, and can get you on my calendar. I would love to. Yeah, anybody that's here, I'm happy to do a full deep dive into all your numbers. So if you want to go through your marketing funnel and see what's working and what's not working, I'm happy to look at all your numbers with you and kind of get you right as rain.
Sweet. Well, Jared, thank you so much.
It.
This was
Of
amazing.
course, Jeremy. Yeah, of course. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.